Two football clubs merely separated by the River Tyne. However, our realities are worlds apart. But for today, we're sharing the same pitch. Yes, good morning everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. It is Saturday the 15th of July 2023 and it is quite possibly the friendly that you've been waiting for. It is of course Gateshead versus Newcastle United, not Newcastle's under 23s, not their under 18s, not any form of development squad. It is the real thing, the actual Newcastle United that will be playing Champions League football in a couple of months' time. So it is a big day ahead for the club. A bit of, you'd have to say, unprecedented demand for tickets from our perspective anyway. So it is going to be a sellout at the International Stadium today, but really looking forward to it. Hopefully, above anything, we can just make a good all-round impression on ourselves as a club. Let's get into this, but before we do, if you are here for the Bolton CA versus Durham City video, that is going to be coming up tomorrow, of course. In the past, when I've done double headers, both games would have been rolled into the same video, but we're doing things slightly differently this year, so that video will be up tomorrow morning. So but for now, let's have a look to International Stadium. So, after a few months away, here I am in Gateshead, and of course going into this game this afternoon, Newcastle finished in 4th place in the Premier League last season, thus getting a spot in this coming season's Champions League, and as well, of course, they were losing AFL Cup finalists to Manchester United at Wembley. So that's one thing both Gateshead and Newcastle got in common, is that we both lost at Wembley last season. Not the nicest thing, but there you go. But of course, this is our third friendly of the summer. So we were there when we beat Hebburn 1-0, and last week, in my absence, we lost 3-2 to Sunderland. But by all accounts, it sounds as though we actually did play pretty well on the day. They made a good account of ourselves on the pitch, and I think it's important that we do that again today. I mean, if we can get some of these Newcastle fans that are here today that have maybe not been to a Gateshead match before to maybe just look upon us and think, oh, this lot are actually quite good, I might come back and watch these when we're not playing, then that is probably the best thing that could happen today, because as I said at Wembley, it's all well and good people showing up for the big occasion, but it's when we're up against Wealdstone on a Tuesday night and things like that is when we need that support that bit more. So fingers crossed we can make a good all-round impression today, but as I say, it's pre-season, it's minutes into the legs more than anything. If we win this game today, it doesn't mean that we're a Champions League standard club or anything like that, but by the same token, if we were to lose to Dunstan next week, it doesn't mean that we're playing 3 divisions above what our actual standard is. It's a very deceiving time of year, but it should be a good day this. Let's head into the International Stadium and find out how it all unfolds. So here come Gateshead out onto the pitch to warm up. So here come Newcastle out onto the pitch, and they're going to be in a new away strip this afternoon, which of course the colours of which are absolutely nothing at all to do with the the nationality of the ownership of the club, but anyway, I wouldn't say it's like a reserves team as such, but it's maybe not the strongest team. It's maybe not the strongest team. I mean, there is a few senior players in the starting 11, then a lot of youngsters on the bench. So my guess is they'll maybe give 45 minutes to the senior players in the first half, then give a few more to young ones around in the second half. Anyway, I'll see you when the players are coming out of the tunnel, ready to start the match. Right, I know sometimes you'll get teams come here and park the bus, but how here? Go on! What's four ways out on loan or something? Have a go at him. Go on. Oh. Go on. Go on. Get the booty. Hit it! Oh! I see. Go on, Steve. Steve. Two leagues below. Oh! The whole school. You just keep saying it. The stairs leading up to the bedrooms. Half-time, Gateshead 2, Newcastle United 0. Tell you what, Dan Burns going to be looking under his bed tonight just to make sure Marcus Denanga is in there. The poor bloke's having an absolute shocker out there. But the main thing that I wanted from this game today is to just make an all-round good impression on, firstly, us as a football club, but secondly, on the pitch, because as I alluded to before the game, we needed to make a good impression because what we need is more people coming through the door when we're playing against like Wealdstone on a Tuesday night, or against Halifax in the middle of December when it's freezing cold. So it's that sort of thing we need, and I think we are really making a good impression. We're playing really well actually, and you've got to say the lead that we've got maybe isn't undeserved in any way, shape or form, because we've really given Newcastle a lot to think about. And you've got to remember this is I get that it's not the strongest team, but there's still players in there that have quite a lot of Premier League experience amongst them. You think the likes of Alan St Maximin, Matt Ritchie, players like that. So yeah, really good. We're making a really good account of ourselves so far. It's going to be interesting to see what Newcastle do in terms of subs in the second half. If they give a few of their youngsters a bit of game time. I mean, our bench is essentially players that are going to be in and around the first team for us this season. So so far so good. Right, so we've got Luke with him. What do you think of that first half?
Well, I thought, even though Newcastle are not really playing their strongest side, I really think we're putting a really good shift in, like we always have been, and it's been really promising performance lately, and just reckon we can hopefully build on that really for the season upcoming, really, because we need possibly looking for a bit of a playoff push and all that, but we'll have to see generally how it goes next half for the rest of pre-season, really.
Yeah, there's a good sign so far, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
No
Cheers. Full-time Gateshead 2, Newcastle United 3. I think in the end the extra fitness and the extra quality just did shine through, even with the amount of younger players Newcastle had out towards the end of the match. They are obviously going to be training at a much higher level and do maybe have that bit of extra skill on us, but I think overall a really positive day for the football club. I thought we made a good account of ourselves on the pitch, and judging by what people are saying on Twitter, that feeling is most certainly mutual between Gateshead fans and Newcastle fans. And look, they had obviously not the strongest team, but players, as I mentioned, that have got a lot of experience under the belts out in the first half, and yeah, we've more than matched them. So but the important thing is it's money into the coffers for Gateshead Football Club from obviously the ticket sales, the streaming sales, programme sales, things like that. We've made a good account of ourselves, which is sort of the main thing we needed to do today, and it's more minutes under the belts, more minutes into the legs, so onwards and upwards. I mean, obviously I'm not going to read into friendlies too much, obviously, but overall I thought we made a good impression. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back of course in the morning with the game I'm currently at the minute, which is Bolton C8 versus Durham City. So until then, take care, cheers for watching, see you later.